Welcome to episode 30 of Hollywood Unapologetic. My name is Orlando Delbert. Whenever anyone thinks of the Hollywood Blacklist, what often comes to mind are the screenwriters, directors, actors, musicians, and others in the entertainment world, starting in the late 1940s, that were denied work because they were accused of having communist ties or thought to be sympathizers with the Communist Party USA. Although the blacklist was rarely made verifiable, it directly damaged the careers for many entertainment industry professionals for decades. In late September 1947, the House Un-American Activities Committee subpoenaed 79 individuals. They believed seditious communist propaganda was inserted into their films. When those subpoenaed refused to answer questions about being part of the Screenwriters Guild and the Communist Party, they were charged with contempt of Congress. 19 of those charged refused to admit their political beliefs and offer names of other communists as the committee demanded from them. The hearings were quite chaotic, which in part caused scheduling conflicts and mental and physical exhaustion. On November 24, 1947, 10 writers and directors out of the 19 were cited for contempt of Congress for refusing to testify to the House Un-American Activities Committee. The following day, the Hollywood Blacklist was set in motion, and these 10 artists were fired, fined, and sentenced to 6 months to 1 year prison terms. These men became known as the Hollywood 10. So, what does the Hollywood Blacklist have to do with content creators today and the new Hollywood generation? Well, actually a lot. Without a doubt, there is a lot of attention on the lack of diversity by the Hollywood film studios and television networks, especially over the past few years. And yes, the numbers being discussed reflect this. The quantitatively assessed data used in much of the dialogue breaks down the top-grossing motion pictures as well as some of what is produced by the television networks, and opportunities for motion picture directors in certain other above-the-line positions are dominated by white males. But as I've discussed in earlier episodes, very little attention is given to the other 200 positions filled to make each motion picture and television production possible, or the other several thousand productions produced and distributed worldwide. I know from my experience in television and in film, women dominate most areas in the post-production arenas and the administrative sides of each production. Very little of this information or what I've just mentioned are part of this dialogue, and most definitely should be. I understand and get by not discussing this very important and essential part of the filmmaking process. It's easier to get the studios and networks to take notice, and without question they are. This dialogue, however, is a huge disservice to the young content creators hoping to break in. While a large majority of the focus is on the lack of opportunity on these top grossers, among almost every young content creator reading them will not have the opportunity to work on a large budgeted feature for years, especially in the early part of their careers. Without a proven track record, any individual of any particular sex, race, sexual preference, disability, or anything else won't get the opportunity without having a body of work to show their competency and their viable range of projects and jobs they've held. It's about financial risk. But here's the thing. The moment you send out your first resume to any production company, network, post, or special effects house, or any entity that is related to the production process, you put yourself on the clock. With very few exceptions. Once you get around 40, time is against you. Unless you're running your own show, control your own finances, and have your lines of vertical integration in place for distribution, your time is limited. You have an uphill battle to fight for the duration of your professional career in the entertainment, and this is true for everyone. Some, especially in the independent film world, may argue this, but to their benefit, they are producing their own content. And so for independent content creators, this doesn't entirely hold true until they have to find financing and distribution by traditional means. But for the rest of us that are seeking stability in the entertainment workforce, health insurance and a 401k, it most certainly is true. There's a level of hypocrisy in Hollywood, and it's everywhere, and one can say it might be part of the culture. It's undeniable. Whenever the thought of any of the entertainment awards shows comes to mind, the most prestigious has always been the Academy Awards. The Academy Award of Merit, better known as the Oscar, is considered to be the greatest honor in the motion picture industry. The Academy's members vote on the previous year's greatest achievements in filmmaking. Members select winners based on outstanding efforts both individually and as a collective. It has always been a night of great celebration, which is viewed by hundreds of millions worldwide every February. In 2014, 81-year-old and star of the film Vertigo, Kim Novak, was one of the presenters. It was obvious she was nervous being on stage as she held the hand of co-presenter Matthew McConaughey. She hasn't been on a stage or in front of so many people in 20 years. Her last film was in 1991, which was nominated for an Oscar, but for most of her career she was thought of as a sex symbol. The following morning's news and social media was blanketed with some of the most hurtful attacks directed to Ms. Novak's face, literally. I couldn't believe it. This woman should be, and for many is considered royalty within the world of the Hollywood film community, and she was ripped apart by some of her peers, so-called hack entertainment reporters, and countless bloggers who aren't anywhere even near the entertainment industry. But it didn't end there. They attacked other entertainment female royalty who were over 60, such as Liza Minnelli and Goldie Hawn. McConaughey's mother fell victim as well. Even jabs were written at younger popular actresses such as Jennifer Lawrence and Sandra Bullock, with comments encouraging them to crawl into holes if they let themselves go at some point in their upcoming years. I see the culture and hypocrisy of Hollywood that's just not right. There's a duality. Everyone wants the young and beautiful and expect them to disappear when they age. And at the same time, they expect you to age gracefully. What does that even mean? In all actuality, many producers hope that if you are a leading lady, as you get into your 40s, you just don't show it. And it's the same if you are reaching into your 50s and even your 60s. They don't take into account genetics or anything else, so the pressure is on. So as an actress, many reach out to the surgeons, the trainers, the diets, and look for the miracle creams and the face and tummy tucks. But there's this balancing act between looking your age and looking the age you think people see you as. And there's not much discussion about it openly if you are a man. There are so many women in Los Angeles that are in their 50s and 60s that are so tucked and poked that they can barely move. I mean, they just look awful. You want to lick their lips and stick them onto a window as a passing car, like a stuffed plush toy. I mean, it's pretty sad. What is probably the worst part of this whole process is that with all of the pressure, both from those around you and from what is self-imposed to age gracefully, is that it is inevitable that your industry that you've built a lifetime to be part of will abandon you eventually. Television writer, the late Larry Gilbert, once said, "The only way to beat ageism in Hollywood is to die young." Regardless of current trends of what is considered physically hot in your part of the world this moment, the fantasy of staying young was and most likely will remain unchanged. Marketers know this and capitalize on this the best they can. One thing I've mentioned over and over matters in Hollywood is money. Entertainment is a billion-dollar industry. Ageism is the byproduct of the studio's business models. The decisions made by the studio executives are not out of any malice or disdain towards anyone personally. The decisions are based on getting the most returns from their investments the quickest way possible. Film studios knew they could not count on the regular moviegoers to fill the movie theaters. They had to create a business model built around tailor-made audiences for each and every film they produced. This was very risky because they had to get people out of their homes and into the seats of the theaters and multiplexes on a specific date, the opening weekend. This was done by purchasing advertising time on national television and bombarding the public with 30-second eye-catching ads, usually over the 7 days prior to opening weekend. These ads were geared towards a specific target audience. This strategy was and still is the most efficient way to reach an audience. This process is also very expensive. The studios often invest $30 million or more as part of their promotion and advertising budget on a motion picture. To capitalize the most from this expenditure, they reach out to teens because they are the only demographic group that can be efficiently motivated to leave their homes in large numbers on a consistent basis. This is why they are often the studio's target audience for so many projects. The studios profit from the corporate tie-ins with merchandisers that can supply over $100 million on an advertising in one single film. This not only helps make the films more profitable, but also can expand the primary audience into licensing properties such as toys, DVDs, and video games. This is the only way large-budget films can be produced and still ensure the economic survival of the motion picture studios. But the point is simple. As we get older, we deal with a lot of loss. Loss of our youth, loss of our dreams, and probably the hardest thing to accept is the loss of time. We are reminded of these things wherever we look and have to learn and accept them so that we can truly enjoy our lives. We become wiser as we grow older, but are marginalized and desire less socially. This is just part of life, and in Hollywood, it is not discussed openly often because what drives Hollywood is money, and being desired less socially means less money can be made. I'm not saying what is happening to everyone in the entertainment industry as we age is fair. I'm not saying that at all. But I understand that the only thing that motivates the Hollywood system to turn its wheels is the ability to make the most money the quickest way it can. One of the things we have seen is that ageism is very much like a silent killer. I think of it as a sociological cancer getting worse every year. You're either a young and attractive woman or man, where you play someone's grandparent or a judge on television. There are not too many opportunities in the middle. Casting actors and hiring crews that are 40 years of age or over is the key to tapping into the buying power of older Americans. But it's much bigger than that. It all comes down to perception. To realistically change the perceptions of the aging, the entertainment industry leaders and the public need to change the way it's thinking. Today, so many Americans are living in a self-made, disposable mindset to just discard what isn't new and beautiful or to their liking, instead of cherishing and appreciating what they have and keeping it viable over time. This is no different than replacing a pair of jeans that aren't looking new enough as it is to dropping off a relative in a nursing home on your way out for the evening, or abandoning a senior dog in a parking lot so you don't miss your flight home for Christmas. Out of sight, out of mind. People running all aspects of the entertainment world know there is an endless stream of young and naive talent showing up in Los Angeles and New York to chase their dreams. They are viewed as inexpensive and malleable alternatives that can be used and beat into the ground only to spit out when they no longer are of any service. What that means to the rest of us, those of us who have years if not decades of experience, is that for whatever reason whatsoever, we are replaceable. And oftentimes, we are escorted out of our jobs on a moment's notice with no explanation as to why, and onto the Hollywood Blacklist. This is all relative to the Hollywood Blacklist because today's version of it is filled with people that their biggest crime was turning a certain age, and that age for many of them is 40. For others, they had a life-changing event, like a certain onset of an illness. Their abilities to continue to do their jobs was well overshadowed by the chatter spread about them, of now being a financial liability. For the new Hollywood generation, it is so important to think about having a plan B, an exit strategy. Think about what you're going to do now to support yourself as you're chasing your dreams, as well as thinking about what you can do just a few years down the road. As you get closer to 40, the closer you get to being discarded by your peers, and 40 does come a lot quicker than you may realize. Bottom line is that no matter what you read online, on the blogs, or see in the entertainment news shows, you have to take it all with a grain of salt. There is a culture and hypocrisy of Hollywood that's just not right. There is a duality when you are expected to age gracefully, then disappear into the night. But regardless of any of that, true leaders will find their way. They will create their own opportunities, even if that means doing something different than what they were doing before. With that said, it is your responsibility to make every moment count and run with it. What that means is that regardless of the bullshit politics and all of the hardships, egotistical grown-up children and naysayers, your dreams and talents will always be yours. No one will ever have the right to take that from you. And if anyone will try to stomp out your dreams, just brush it off, laugh it off. Make that momentary setback a break to reassess your next drive forward, because as long as you believe in yourself, anything is possible. This was not in any way meant to be a deterrent to you to follow your dreams. It's just something to be mindful of as you make your plans for success, world domination. It's just something to keep in the back of your mind when you're putting together an exit strategy. And being in the entertainment industry for decades, I've seen it firsthand to myself and to others. That hits directly to the core of what makes each and every one of us whom we are. I've seen many times who have been cycled through the gears of this business that have been very successful, and in the end, most of them have little if nothing to show for it at all. No matter how many awards you have on your shelf, on your walls, they will still need to be dusted off from time to time. And also, no matter what anyone tells you, the entertainment world remembers what you did last, not necessarily what you did best. And the social stigma of staying young adds to that pressure. Getting older is the one unpardonable sin in Hollywood. Follow your dream. Be true to that dream and nurture it to make it grow. Plan for a realistic future your success can bring. Life is what happens on the way to achieving your dreams, and remember that. The world is greatly influenced by what is seen on the screen and heard on the radio. Let's be the new Hollywood generation. Let's give them something that will drive everyone to do something bigger and to make a positive difference in the world. You're all in it together. Each and every one of you is an important part of our future. You're important to the lives of those who surround you. You're important to our communities, important to our industry. No matter what, remain optimistic and focused on your goal. Never stop believing in yourself. And always remember, you are the key to your own success. Take a breath, move forward. Together, let's create a revival, the resurgence of Hollywood, and bring back the auteur to cinema. Be an active part of the new Hollywood generation. You are a representative of the new Hollywood generation. Please subscribe to our channel and share. Don't forget to check out our other videos in the series and follow the link to check out our swag. Thanks. You are a representative of the new Hollywood generation. Join Hollywood Unapologetic in our quest to positively empower one another to empower our industry as we speak openly to industry professionals about the true pursuit of our Hollywood dreams and in life. Hollywood Unapologetic is a continuation of the Pollyanna's tear-soaked Battlefields of Hollywood, a survival guide against the cynicism and the hypocritical series of books designed to help you better prepare for success. It is now our time to strive to be a better version of ourselves and to be inclusive of one another. We, as a community, can grow together and be the change our industry needs. We can find unity together and be the change our future needs. We are the new Hollywood generation. Welcome to Hollywood Unapologetic.